so the West Coast. Just now on the outside, nose in front of Double Thunder. Mystic Guy charges away and takes the Dubai World Cup.
Country Grammar with his dates with destiny. Country Grammar won the Dubai World Cup.
Ruby. So, it is almost time. How far away are we from this year's Dubai World Cup? Just over 15 minutes ahead of us to wait for the $12 million race that will determine whether or not Frank Dettori finishes with a fairy tale ending here. He is aboard Country Grammar, one of 15 contenders for this year's renewal. And the field for this year's Dubai World Cup, headed by number 1, Algiers, winner of 2 rounds of the Al Maktoum Challenge, representing Simon and Ed Crisford, James Doyle in the saddle. Ben Doog might be the most handsome horse in the race, but is he good enough? We will find out tonight. And a former Dubai World Cup winner, Christophe Soumillon. The first of 8 Japanese challengers is Cafe Pharaoh. Drawn 10, the Magic Man, Joe Moreira in the saddle. The defending champion is Country Grammar, and he has the honour of carrying Frank Dettori in his final Dubai World Cup ride. Crown Pride won the UAE Derby 12 months ago. He's back this time, but in the Dubai World Cup, Damien Lane in the saddle once again. 2022 Saudi Cup winner Emblem Road has a go at this year's Dubai World Cup, and Adel Al Faradi will ride. 7 is Geoglyph, who has a verdict over Equinox on turf, has a go on dirt under Christophe Lemaire. Junlight Bolt was down the field in the Saudi Cup, better expected tonight under Ryan Moore. And the winner of this year's Saudi Cup, Panthalassa, winner of the turf, or shared the turf with Lord North 12 months ago, has a go for the World Cup with Yutaka Yoshida in the saddle. Remorse is one of the outsiders, but has the plum draw in stall 1 for Tygo Shea, the UAE champion jockey. 11 is a resurgent Salute the Soldier, who will represent Adra de Vries and Fawzi Nas. The second of the American challengers is Super Corrento, who is drawn in stall 11. Hector Isaac Berrios will ride. And then come another trio of Japanese contenders. 13, Tio Keynes, Oisin Murphy, back in the big time once again. Number 14 is Ushba Tesoro, talented, and Yugo Kawada will be taking the ride. And finally, horse number 15, Vela Azul, completing the 8 Japanese contenders, ridden by former World Cup winner Christian De Muro. So Ruby, Angus, myself, Nick, Fran, the entire team now getting ourselves ready for the Dubai World Cup. The horses will very shortly be in the paddock for the race. Now, we spoke about the depth of the 2 turf races that we've just seen, the turf and the Shima Classic. Angus spoke about how open this year's race is for the World Cup. Do you believe that it is open, Ruby?
I think it is. I think it's very open. There's great strength in it. You obviously have Algiers, who you really fancy, Rishi. You've got Country Grammar, and then you've got the Japanese horses, Geoglyph, Junlit Bolt, Tio Keynes. There's so many of them in here with so many chances and plenty of pace. It should be a good, honest race, Angus.
It should be, Rishi, but the fancied horses are wide. They're all drawn out wide. Algiers, Panthalassa and Country Grammar. So tactically, therefore, it's going to be fascinating.
Do you think it's a better race than when Country Grammar won it last year, or is it similar level? Is it a weaker race? Tell me your thoughts on that.
Life is Good as a very, very good horse last year.
Did he run his race?
Just about. I don't think he quite stayed the trip. He was forced to go quite hard early on in the race, and I think that did for him late in the piece, and he was probably a miler. But he set a very good standard. You know, he went with Flightline head-to-head and toe-to-toe on Flightline's last start. So he's a very good horse. He set a good standard. This will be a little bit deeper, even though there's no Life is Good in there.
Okay, time for Ruby and Angus to have a look at the horses in the paddock. Be kind about the first horse you see.
Okay, Rishi, if you say so. Algiers has been a revelation since he came here to the UAE. He's trained by Simon and Ed Crisford. He's got a good relationship with James Doyle, who's won 2 rounds of the Maktoum Challenge on him, and he's won them really well, travelling powerfully through both of those races, even though he was forced wide, and clearing away from his local rivals in good style. He's got to take on the international raiders now, so he's got a question or two to answer. And he's come back spotless at the end of both of his races. Not a fleck of dirt on him. What if he gets dirt in his face this time? He's got to answer that question.
He most certainly has, and we will find out shortly. Number 2 coming into your shot is Ben Doog, the local runner for Bupar Simar. He's the mount of Christophe Soumillon. He's one of those that'll be close to the pace. He's drawn in stall 7. He was run down late by Salute the Soldier here on Super Saturday. Prior to that, Ryan Moore had rode him when he finished behind Algiers. He'll run his race and he'll contribute to the race, but I'm not sure I can see him winning, Angus.
I can't either. He's got pace. He'll be up there in the early part from stall 7. Beautiful pedigree. He's a really good looking horse as well, by Gunrunner out of a mineshaft mare. That's an archetypal dirt pedigree. Here's Cafe Pharaoh. This is horse number 3, another of the Japanese runners. He's pretty smart. He won the February Stakes at Tokyo. He won that 2 years on the bounce. That's a grade 1. And he ran pretty well behind Panthalassa, who reopposes here in the Saudi Cup last time up.
4 is Country Grammar, last year's winner, trained by Bob Baffert in the USA in the mount of Lanfranco de Tori. His final ride here at Meydan in the Dubai World Cup. He likes to track the leader. He just couldn't run down Panthalassa last time in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh in the Saudi Cup. That was over 1,800 metres. We're back up to 2,000 tonight. He's got a wide draw in stall 14, but he's one hell of a racehorse.
He really is good looking horse, isn't he, for the Bob Baffert team. Let's have a look at 5, which is Crown Pride. He's another of the Japanese raiders. They had a very good World Cup night last year, and this was one of their winners. He won the UAE Derby. He beat Summeris Tomorrow by 2 1/4 lengths on that occasion. He was last seen behind Panthalassa, another one to go to Saudi a few weeks ago, and he didn't run too badly there at all. He wasn't beaten far, just 2 1/4 lengths, and we know he goes well here. Wide draw in 12.
Emblem Road should be coming next. He has a good draw in stall 2, the 5-year-old. His last run was in Riyadh as well, when he finished 6th behind Panthalassa. Prior to that, he'd won over a mile in Riyadh back in January when he beat I Am Magic. He's an official rating of 118. He likes to sit behind the pace. He could run well, but I think he'd be a bit of a surprise winner.
I think he would, yeah, like he was a surprise winner when he won the Saudi Cup in 2021. Let's have a look at Christophe Lemaire's man. Well, he's on a treble tonight, Christophe, and Geoglyph is unexposed on dirt. There he is, just coming into shot behind Emblem Road, and he's had 1 run at Geoglyph on the dirt, beaten 4 lengths when he went to Saudi. He was 6th to Panthalassa. He was in 4th to Panthalassa, but I fancy there's a bit more to come from him, given he's only had the 1 run on this sort of surface. He's a pretty good turf horse back in Japan.
He is, and coming behind Geoglyph will be another Japanese horse, Jun Light Bolt, who also ran in Saudi Arabia in the Saudi Cup. Ryan Moore rode Jun Light Bolt in Saudi. He could go into a shot in a second. He never really got going in Saudi, and you're wondering, did he handle that dirt surface? This is a different surface this evening. He's drawn in stall 3, Jun Light Bolt, if we do get him in shot. And he is a bit of a hold-up horse. There he is now, number 8, Jun Light Bolt. He will be coming from off the pace, which in stall 3 could be a bit tricky, but the amount of kickback he's going to face. He has won 3 times on the dirt. Ryan Moore, who's had 2 winners this evening already, is in fine form, but if this guy can get close enough to the ones in front that the kickback doesn't affect him too much, he could run a really big race.
Yeah, he's a very interesting runner, as is the next horse that we can have a look at. It's Panthalassa, who won at this meeting last year in dead heating for the Dubai turf, but has taken well to a dirt surface, winning the Saudi Cup, and made every yard of the running that day, and held on from Country Grammar. So that is top class form, but they go up a furlong in trip here, which will suit Country Grammar. And the big question for Panthalassa, and it's a difficult one to answer, can he get to the lead like he did in Saudi from stall 15? He's out very wide and they're quickly into a bend. That poses a real problem for his jockey.
Number 10 will be another local runner for Bupar Samir, which is Remorse. He should be in the parade. There he is in your shot, number 10 Remorse, the mount of Ty Gaucher. He likes to sit behind the pace, and he's drawn in stall 1, so he's not going to take full advantage of his draw. He was disappointing on his last start in Riyadh in the